So actually the real skill of solving problems in the corporate world for innovation is actually the skill of being able to quickly interrogate, do experiments on, and make sense of the things that are question marks and make them not question marks. Now, what I find when I work with businesses is a lot of businesses run on conjectures all day. Most of the time when people are sitting in meetings across from each other, if I were to diagram their cognition, I would say 90% of the time that people spend at work is fully wasted cognition around conjectures. You know, how committed you are to a guess, how well you laid it out in a 12-page deck is anti-work. It actually can oftentimes convince people of things that will never end up happening in the world. The most important thing to discern is, am I hearing a conjecture or a direct experience? If I'm hearing a conjecture, let's design an experiment together to go see if it's true. If I'm hearing a direct experience, an actual, something that actually happened in the world, it'll sound like real people in a real place doing a real thing, I can reason with that actual about decisions we can make. Because I know real people in that setting will do these things. So in our workshops, I teach exactly how to do this, and we just had a group of about 50 folks go from not even knowing what a problem was to doing a significant contribution to solving it by identifying potential solutions, prototyping one of those solutions, testing that solution with a customer, all in less than 26 minutes. People that know about Google X, they kind of hear that these sorts of projects were started out of Google X, and the immediate impression is, well, this is possible because it's Google. They've got all the money in the world, they can throw all the time in the world that they want to at these problems. But I'm actually here to maybe disabuse you of that notion. So something like Project Loon, which is trying to do something incredibly ambitious, we actually did the first 100 hardware prototypes of Project Loon in less than 4 months, with fewer than 5 people. And by the end of 100 hardware prototypes, we had multiple balloons up at 80,000 feet doing high bandwidth communications with each other and the ground. So lots of progress for a short amount of time and a small number of people. But the kicker is the total cost of all the prototypes, the first 100 prototypes together, so not per prototype, all of them together, was $70,000. So that is not a lot of money. That is not a lot of time. That is not a lot of people that worked on the project, right? Basically, the difference here was not that Google was applying way more people, way more time, way more money than you guys have. What was happening here is we were working on the problems in a foundationally different way. And that's what I'm going to teach you today, first in the lecture, and then you will get a chance to practice this stuff directly in a workshop. So I like to say that attachment is the enemy of innovation. If there's any decision in your business that's taking more than 10 minutes to make, then there's typically some sort of guess or conjecture in the mix. And the problem is we start to get attached to those guesses, where it's like, oh, I'm the proponent of this position, and my co-executive's the proponent of that position, and now we're gonna butt heads on it. And as we butt heads on it, I'm digging in more and believing my position more. So if there's any question that your team has been circling on, it's been taking more than 10 minutes to decide, there's a guess or a conjecture in there. And the purpose of prototyping then is to go and convert that conjecture into a known value. What you want to do is just get a little bit of intellectual distance, become unattached enough that you can allow an experiment to be an experiment and see what happens. One other thing before I move on. When you go and talk with smart people, they sometimes get offended when you say that they're guessing. Because they're like, well, I have a PhD in so-and-so, or this is a very educated guess, or I read so-and-so report about this. So there's a magic word, which is, instead of telling them that they're guessing, I say, hey, you have an interesting conjecture. And then like, yeah, absolutely, it's a fantastic conjecture. And it's like, great. Of course, it means the same thing as a guess, but then this leads to a very interesting mantra. The way to iron out your cognition so you think faster and innovate faster is never try to go from guesses to decisions. What you want to do is guesses become experiments, and the output of those experiments become actuals. The actuals become the decisions. Now, the flip side of it is specificity is the friend of innovation, right? Similarly, your prototype could completely fail. Nobody could like it, but if you are specific about exactly how people did not like it, once again, you will move forward the innovation process, you will move forward the progress of everything. And this is what I mean, like you could literally have 20 prototypes in a row fail, But if you are specific enough about the cognitive interaction that led to that moment of failure, it will tell you exactly how to fix things. Specificity is the thing that drives the entire thing forward, not success or failure, not whether your idea won or not, or your ego around your idea winning or not, or whether you had the best idea or somebody else had the best idea. None of these things drive innovation. In fact, those are all forms of attachment that retard innovation. Specificity is the thing that drives innovation. And if all you do is just stay with the specific moment where different interactions happen, then you can really decode cognitively what people are going through and kind of find those little waypoints that lead to the set of cognitive interactions that will have your customer be successful and you be successful as a business.